we are going to introduce our guest judges who are industry experts who've taken the time out of their busy day to come back and critique these projects. So first up, we have Joanna. Joanna, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do?
Yeah, okay, so hello everyone. I'm excited to be here, especially after that introduction. That was fun. I am a director of data science within an internal audit division at Mutual of Omaha, which is an insurance company. We have a very diverse portfolio, but a lot of our business is life. We have Medicare supplement. We have a lot of other ancillary products. I've worked there for 17 years or so. I started in BI. When I got out of college, I graduated with a degree in math, and right out of college, I started at Mutual, and I started in a BI role, and kind of over time, it just grew into from BI to architect to manager to now director of data science. So I have a team of 6 data scientists who work with me. We focus a lot on identifying fraud within our products. We are also responsible for supporting advanced solutions as it relates to internal audits. So think of using data to identify if controls are functioning efficiently, automating testing of different audit entities. I expect to see growth in this market, and I'm excited to see how data science really can change and shape, where we're at today to where we know that we can go.
Awesome. I think we're all looking forward to that. Thank you, Joanna, and we appreciate that introduction. All right, Joanna, what's your feedback?
I really enjoyed the storytelling at the beginning, and especially how you tied it back in at the end. That made for a good conclusion, in my opinion. I thought that your pace was very good, and that I could understand you clearly. You were enunciating the words. I appreciated how when you said KPI, you also gave the full name, as not everybody knows what acronyms mean all the time. I liked how you walked through your charts, and so that we could kind of level set and understand where you were and where your thinking was going. I like that you noted that California had the most, but it also had the most customers, if that's the right word. That would have been a question I would have asked if you wouldn't have said that. So at one time you had mentioned the fiber optic, and you had given a conclusion for why people maybe are churning from fiber optic. And I believe you said because of the expense, or because it wasn't, I guess, operating at the level they expected. But later in the presentation, you came back and you said, no, we need to talk to our customers and determine what actually they feel about it. So I had a great appreciation for that, because at Mutual of Omaha, our customers are always our #1 priority. So getting their input and feedback is essential to fixing or understanding any problems. So overall, I think you did a great job. Easy to understand, good communication, quality presentation. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Joanna. Joanna?
Okay, so I appreciated at the beginning why this was important to you, the story that went along with it, but more so the I'll call it passion that you have around it, and that basis for why you're interested. I had a little bit of a hard time understanding the charts and what I was supposed to conclude from them. I couldn't read the legends. They were a little bit hard to see. I was really, the time you were talking, I was trying to figure out what the charts were. So it was a little bit distracting. Like I'll go back to the, a little busy comment. There was probably a story there. I was trying to figure out what that story was. I did like how after that, though, you really clearly, very clearly, which I definitely appreciated, good, bad, red, green. That's the kind of stuff I can understand. So that really was very clear to me, which I appreciate. I thought that you had a good pace. You had some good inflection points, especially when you were talking about the spike in the chart. I appreciate your excitement or your increased inflection at that point. It made me aware that that was important, and I really need to be paying attention to what you're saying. I also liked at the end when you started to get into the more of the detail, because those charts for me were pretty high level, and I liked the detailed about, where you got led to in that story. I also had a note here about the source of the data. I was curious if you were using public data. Particularly I am terrified of flying, and I have done many hours of research on air disasters on TV. I've looked for like open data sources of pilots, like pilot logs. I haven't found too much open source data that really would lend itself well to analysis. So that's why I was curious where you were getting your data from.
Yeah, so my data source was a public data source from Kaggle. So that's where I got the information from.
I think you did a great job, and I definitely appreciate the unique topic, and I think there's creativity in that topic. So, and something that's really not talked about as much as you would expect.
Mhm. Thank you so much for your input.
Jana?
I appreciated how you clearly stated the goal of the industry, but also very clearly stated the problem statement. At Mutual, we try to always approach things hypothesis driven, problem statement, that sort of thing. So I have appreciation for that. You did mention why you created the data warehouse or why it was important. I would have expected that you might have said something about self-service or providing the data to additional parties. I don't know if that was in scope for you, but just when I'm used to the purpose of a data warehouse, I think it's, to expand it to access across some sort of organization or division. I would like to hear what tools you use for this. I was curious if they were like open source tools or proprietary type tools. I also appreciated how you stated very clearly good versus bad and made that so obvious for me so that I knew, what conclusion I was being led to. And I thought you gave good recommendations for the solutions. On some of the slides, I might have gotten a little bit more if you provided more like some bullet points as opposed to pictures. I was listening to you and looking at the picture, but I was kind of trying to tie it back to some bullets and like just go over it a few times in my head so I could really let it sink in. I thought you had a great pace to your presentation as well. Like all the other presenters, it seems like you guys have a really great communication style that I appreciate.
All right, awesome. Jana, what's your overall feedback? Now you see what Colaberry is doing, how we're producing data talent. These people have no experience in this field. What was that?
I want to join the culture. I want to join the team.
It is a tight-knit culture. We have over 3,000 people working in your top companies, and we're all connected. And so these guys are going back and forth all day. Oh, I have this challenge, and coming up with different strategies and helping. So it really is a family of our network, and they go through the ringer when they go through this boot camp. It is not easy. Myself, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so I built it like a boot camp. And I mean, it is truly a transformation. And you can see the end product, right? A year ago, these people, they didn't even work in this stuff. This is what they've done over the course of 6 months to a year, right? And now you probably listen to them and see them as more seasoned, right? And so that's what it takes to create talent that can immediately go into a company and help, not 2 years from now. So Jana, what's your overall perception, advice? You guys.
I mean, I'm really impressed with the communication. It's, particularly what I see is, I'm not going to say problems with communication, but maybe not excelling at communication at the data science level. To be able to tell the story is almost more of a battle than, understanding the story yourself or doing the data analysis. You have to convey to the people why it's important, why they should care, why it's a problem, what should you do about it. And that seems to me to sometimes be a struggle for individuals. I don't know, I'll call it a traditional program, right? Coming out of a traditional program, maybe the focus is, so much on technical that we lose some of those soft skills. I was blown away by the soft skills here, the support for each other, the encouragement, the recognition that, criticism is to help us get better. I love the diversity. My gender is a minority in this field as well. So I understand like diversity is important, right? Diversity of thought, diversity of experience, all of it. And, I'm just really impressed to see what we have going on here, and not only the quality, but also just the overall program in and of itself and the things culturally that I can see coming through.
All right. Thank you, Jana.